Friends, this Saturday let me start with a small poem. If the poignancy and the pain won't move you, then nothing will. Oh, the gentle soul, with heart so bright, cut down by cruelty in endless night, your laughter silenced, your smile erased, by hands that should have held, not harmed your face. Oh, cruel fate that took your life and left us with a hallowed strife. Your memory stays a haunting pain, a reminder of the evil that remains. Rest now, dear one, in eternal peace. May your memory our hearts release. May we strive to make a world anew, where love and kindness forever shine through. Friends, that's an ode to Abaya. One more girl, this time Abaya, has been brutalized, maimed and killed. It's more than a year and she still awaits justice. We are also painfully aware of Nirbhaya, who met the same fate a decade back. Countless Nirbhayas and Abhayas died in the intervening period with no one shedding a single tear. In a world where humanity takes pride in its technological and moral advancements, it's a profound paradox that countless girls across the globe suffer brutality, maiming and death due to systemic violence and deep-seated societal norms. The brutalization of girls is a heart-wrenching manifestation of inequality, an indictment of cultural and systemic failures that persistently oppress half of the world's population. When Nirbhaya was killed, the entire country cried. The government on its part came up with the Nirbhaya Act, formerly known as the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013. It was touted as a landmark piece of legislation that was aimed at addressing and combating sexual violence against women. It meant to significantly overhaul the criminal laws pertaining to sexual offenses. Whatever happened to that act? Will we see another similar and eventually forget Abaya? Political parties will politicize any and every act in the society and make inane statements such as your rape and my rape. Activists derive pleasure in activism without judging the consequences. Intelligentsia are relegated to either the backbenches of TV debates of how gory the entire episode was, or that more technology is to be used to counter it. Actors and celebrities will emote anger and shed fake tears. Media channels will describe with graphic details and illustrations for TRP ratings. Who feels genuinely for the girl who lost life in the most tragic circumstances? What about the pain that the parents endure? Does the society care? Does the government care? A compensation is announced as though it's a magic bomb and would erase all the pain. Are we inadvertently normalizing violence as we will all forget Abhaya and her trauma as days and weeks pass until we are jolted into senses by another of its kind? What have we come to as a society? Admittedly, the brutality inflicted upon girls and women is not a modern anomaly, but a deeply entrenched problem in the society. Patriarchal norms have long, sanctioned and perpetuated violence against women and girls. Historical practices, from infanticide and forced marriages to honor-based killings, violence, all exist in the society and are often justified under the guise of tradition, religion, or cultural norms. Sad. We seem to institutionalize gender discrimination. Girls are frequently considered less valuable than boys, leading to a range of harmful practices such as female genital mutilation, despite its severe physical and psychological consequences. We even seem to mention human trafficking, child marriage, and sexual violence as a matter of fact, almost trivializing it. The impact of violence extends far beyond immediate physical harm. The psychological scars left and trauma from violence often leads to mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. The societal consequences are equally devastating. Girls subjected to violence are less likely to complete their education or secure employment, perpetuating economic dependence and reinforcing gender inequality, and in a way perpetuating exactly what was needed to be stopped. What can be done? It cannot be that seemingly simple solutions are given for complex problems. It needs a multifaceted approach. First and foremost, the case of Abaya needs thorough investigation. A year has passed, nothing seems to have worked. It's not as simple as an unfortunate rape incident. It appears a targeted killing, something to teach a lesson. What various players are hiding must be brought to light. Second, the laws need to change. Surgical castration in addition to life imprisonment is a shame on the perpetrator and will not be able to live with. That should be meted out. Third is more encompassing and necessitates a robust legal framework that criminalizes all forms of violence against girls and ensures stringent enforcement. Education plays a crucial role in this regard. Initiatives must aim at promoting gender equality and raising awareness to foster a more just and empathetic society. Can we do it? Support systems for survivors of violence is extremely important. Providing comprehensive health care, psychological support, and legal assistance can provide survivors and their lives when they seek justice. Additionally, empowering communities to actively engage in the field, in the fight against gender-based violence through grassroots organizations and advocacy groups can drive systemic change from the ground up. Is it time the governments are held accountable by international communities for failing to protect girls and implement policies that address gender-based violence effectively? Friends, rape, maiming, and killing someone represents some of the most horrific acts of violence known to the humanity. These crimes are not only brutal violations of individual rights and dignity, they also deeply stain the conscience of the society. They shatter lives, destroy families, and spread fear, anger, and trauma through communities. Victims often suffer not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically, which is much more damaging. The pain extends beyond the individual, affecting loved ones and undermining the very fabric of trust and safety in the society. Rape is just not a physical assault. It's an attack on the person's autonomy, and identity. Survivors often face stigma, victim blaming, and inadequate support. It only compounds their suffering. Maiming, whether intentional or collateral, leaves lasting disabilities that strip individuals of their independence and quality of life. Killing, the ultimate act of violence, robs someone of their future and inflicts irreversible loss on their families. As a society, we must stand united against such atrocities. Stronger laws, faster justice, widespread awareness, education on consent and human terms, human rights, and support for survivals is extremely important. Until every individual, regardless of gender, age, or background, can live without fear of such violence, we cannot call ourselves truly civilized. We are not civilized. With that, friends, let me end today's episode. A thought that things will be better tomorrow. Thank you, Dhanyavad, and Namaskar.